Who's ready to potty? Okay, so hurry, come in, have a seat, zip your lip. Where's that? Do we have our mic back here? Anthony, do you have that? Any ahas, insights on that break? Who actually, just by raise of hand, took action? Woo! All right. I want to hear from a few of you. I want Lori, what you just said to me. Say it again. And your name?
Okay, so I'm Lori.
Hi, Lori.
So I just made $100 on that break. Called a woman that I just had been putting off for a while. We'd been connecting for the last few months, and called her and said, hey, just wanted to chat. Haven't talked for a little while. She's like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about you. I've just been putting off calling you. How do I get started? Are you freaking kidding me?
Oh.
So just making that phone call, having a good little conversation. She's on my website right now, paying me.
Love it. Isn't that awesome?
So
Hey,
the question is, how many other phone calls have you been putting off? How many more breaks do you want, right?
But isn't it true? A couple things is, A, you took action, and that equated into some income right away, right? So just know I gave all of you, like, the easiest way to do that exercise. I gave you the easy version. If you think that was tough, like, oh, my gosh, what is this girl? But it's like you took action. Number two is you followed, like you said. Remember this morning when I had that, or this morning, afternoon, I don't know, it's time warp at this point, where it was like, write down right now if you've had any impressions in the last 24 hours to the last 7 days to the last year that you haven't taken action on. And as you do that, right, and as you clear up that energy, as you said, I've been thinking about you. And it's that fascinating thing that happens all the time, right, of saying, I've been thinking about you. I'm glad you called. I was going to call you, right? Did that take the pressure also off that sales conversation? Yeah. So you can have a very authentic sales conversation without being salesy of legitimately, hey, I've just been thinking about you. How are you and what's going on and how can I help or how can I serve you? I mean, that's really when I teach at the core of sales is what I call serve to sell. If you want to make more money, provide more service. Most of you can get behind that, or all of you, right? Rather than that's the kind of sales we're talking about. Anyone else who took action on the break? Any ahas or insights? Either what you felt or experienced. Yeah, right here.
Mine had to do with the home, and I've been putting off getting a downstairs bathroom that needs to be repaired. So I went outside and I called the handyman, and he'll be coming on Saturday so we can get that done. But the aha moment came that after I had done that, I felt like, that was so good. I'm going to call somebody else that owes me some money. And so I called her, and she owes me $65 for something that she had bought, and I was just asking her when she was planning on paying that, and so she's going to do it next week. So that was good.
Love it. Give her a hand. Anyone else? One other aha up here. Andrea.
I just decided to go full-time into my energy business. So I had been working at a preschool. So I called today and gave my 2 weeks' notice to put all my energy right here.
Woo! Awesome. Up here. One more. And tell us your first name, too.
I'm Tresta.
Hi, Tresta.
Hello. Hey, I set my date. Yeah. I've been putting this date off forever and ever and ever, and I said I'd set it back in November, and so I set my date. It's going to be February 4th for my event for homeschooling Christian mothers.
All right. Okay, can I? Huh? All right. Woohoo. Anyone that didn't take action on the break that wants to, if you had any kind of resistance or anything up, I know that would take some courage to be like, I am not going to share that. And then you watch your hand go. Ring. Anyone not take action? Yeah, back here.
I started to take my own action, and someone needed help taking action on their step. And so I helped them take the action that they wanted to do, and then I took a little bit more action on mine. But I stopped to give service to someone else. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's probably for me.
I
it's
don't know
bad,
if it.
but-
I don't know if it is good or bad. I just invite you to look at. There's this phrase that gets shared, and part of any time you do these experiences is this phrase that says, "The way you play the game is the way you're playing life." And so I would assume in life often that you're working on your stuff, and other people need help, and you stop what you're doing to help them, and then come back and work on your stuff. And sometimes that is appropriate, right? Intuitively, like, hey, it's just being aware of, is that a pattern that might be hindering me? Again, like this morning, one of the things I love Gerald walked you guys through is it's 100% or it's 0%. Like being committed, right? And sometimes there is so much power in sometimes the answer is to say no because we're saying more yes to ourselves. So I think there's a lot there, but based on how you see that mirroring in your own life. And I think I think there's positives either direction. But it's an awareness for you to look at is how often do I see that show up in my life that I might be making progress on my stuff and someone else's stuff comes in and I'm just willing to shelf me to help them. And sometimes, again, that's a good thing to do, and sometimes it's a distraction, right?
It's a really good distraction.
Yeah.
It's really easy to use it as a distraction.
Then, sweetie, that's the thing that you get to look at is if you know that that's an easy distraction. There's a book that I want all of you to read before our 90-day party. I'm going to make this be part of your ticket to that party, right? There's a book, and it's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Stephen Pressfield. Not The Art of War, like by Sun Tzu. It's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he talks about, this is fascinating work. How many of you have the experience that when you commit to a new goal, whether it's exercise or business, or you're going to finally create or go for it, that you start down that path and it feels good, and then boom, you hit like some resistance. And that resistance takes on the face of fear, or you might get sick, right? Or something comes up, or someone else's stuff, or whatever comes up. And we often misinterpret that obstacle as a sign, rather than realizing that the more that you're progressing towards what he says the closer you are to your soul's evolution, the more resistance you're going to encounter. The closer you are to your soul's evolution, in other words, betterment, the more resistance you will encounter. Some of you are nodding your heads like an amen, right, sister? Yes, sir. You bet. I'd be happy to. The closer you are to your soul's evolution, the more resistance you will encounter. You're welcome. Uh-huh. Yes. Yep. But anytime, like he talks about whether you're an artist, you've been trying to write a book, and you get writer's block, right? Or you want to create something, or entrepreneurs, you want to start this business, and it's like, gosh, you got to move through it. Or you want to improve your relationship, or improve, this aspect of your health and fitness. It's always great. Like, you'll get down that path. Like, how many of you know what I'm talking about with health and fitness? Like, you start getting in a groove, and you're like, yeah, I am the money. Like, I'm feeling it. You don't pay extra for the dancing shenanigans, just so you know. That was a free bonus. I forget sometimes. I'm aware. I just realize some of you in this room know me well, and you're used to it. And most of you in this room don't know me at all, and you're like, what? I should warm you up and start that stuff tomorrow. But why not? We'll do it today. Stephen Pressfield. And so, but the point being is, have you gotten that groove where you start getting in the groove of making this positive change, and then you hit the resistance? You always hit the resistance. Every coaching client, when I do a consult up front, and I say this verbatim specifically, every single time before, and this is why partly I do a consult, even though they're like, hey, I just want to hire you, I know, let's go. It's like, well, let's do a consult as we have this conversation that sounds like, as you and I work together, you're going to be achieving new things and breaking through some old patterns. You're going to be building your funnel and expanding your message and signing up and enrolling more clients, making more money, which you all think sounds great. But let me tell you this, if you're not used to making more money, that's going to feel uncomfortable. So I have to help get you comfortable. So we have the conversation up front that guess what? You're going to hit resistance at some point while we work together. And you're going to think you might be nuts, right? Like, why am I nuts? I'm making more money. I'm losing the weight. Things are going well. Whatever your stuff is, dominantly it's marketing, money. And it's like, why am I feeling anxiety and fear? Because you're outside what's familiar for you. That's what it's really about with change. Whether you're, again, fear of failure, fear of success, it's really just a fear of change. And again, like we talked about this morning, is underneath that fear is what if I can't handle it? Too so much successful, what if it blows up my life? Well, have the conversation when it's a real challenge, right? Rather than living future forward. But you will always, so this resistance is a part of that process. So back to you, sweet love, is as you say, how often, if you know that that's a distraction for you, that's another form of resistance in your business and in your work. As you say, that's what you're getting, is that there's some ownership there. Doesn't mean that we don't serve and help others, but if the pattern is me last, if at all, and then you're always like fried, and why is this not working? Well, because, again, you see, this is what I'm saying in that question, what's the payoff? I learned this really early on. So when I first started selling for Franklin Covey, and people would get to the end of this conversation, and they would say, oh my gosh, Tiffany, you've so motivated me. This conversation's totally changed my life. I'm totally naive, right, at this point. And they're like, you have motivated me. I'm going to go do this on my own, because I'm selling Franklin Covey coaching to enroll them to work with a coach. And because I'm now aware, at the time I wasn't aware of what was happening, but my driving dominant value in my business and in my life is service. And when you're clear on that, right? So because they would say the right things that I'd serve them, I'd be like, okay, well, good luck, go for it. How many of you, get honest with ourselves, if you don't have accountability in place, and for them that meant a life coach, how likely are they to follow through and actually create the habitual changes we were talking about in that call? Huh? Less. Maybe. Depending, right? And it's not to say we can't change. It's not like, well, that aspect. But if you're dealing with a habit pattern, then I'm going to tell you and make the investment. So for me, like I hired an organizational coach, that helped me at that time really get clear with my office, because even though I'm aware, I know I technically know how to do it, it wasn't happening. You got to get honest. I'm not, if it's like with your health, your fitness, your business, whatever, you have to get honest with yourself about it. So the point being is, because I had that same, it was like service, they could say all the right things. And it's like what they basically did is they went from being on the hot seat of, it's time to make a decision. And they said, Tiffany, do you want to sit here? And I was like, oh, yeah. And how they would ask me that is, thank you so much for helping change my life. And, oh, my gosh, you're a godsend. And I prayed, and you're the person. And so my whole value system's being fed. And it's like, okay, well, good luck. Right? And so this is where being candid with myself, if I really care about their progress and growth, that it's not about Tiffany. It's about having a system in place that will create change. One conversation. It's not to say I'm not saying they weren't being sincere. They just decided to get off the hot seat and put me there. And so it was, if I'm really about helping people change their lives, then I got to take damn well care of my own life and my dreams and my goals. Now, this is stuff I haven't figured out and in terms of that I've mastered it. But like this year, every month this year, I have one day scheduled off that's not for running errands. It's not for doing and catching up in my business, because I can be guilty of go all the time, because I love it. Love business. I love coaching. I love training. I do it all the time. And it's just like, but guess what? If I don't take care of me, so if I really care about helping you, I'm going to take care of me. So sometimes the best way, and then that's, again, it's facilitating that, but it's putting things in place in your schedule, in your support system, in your accountability to say, okay, I need to be aware of that. So if you're aware that, I didn't follow through because I was helping someone else, I don't think that's a bad or a good thing. I don't want you to put judgment on it. I just want you to have awareness around it to go, okay, snapshot, freeze frame. How often do I do this in my real life? Unpause. And if it's all the time, then yeah, I would look at considering that. And again, it's helping others. It's like, yeah, I'd love to meet with you. But in terms of schedule, I can meet with you, next week or 3 weeks out or whatever it may be. Be happy to help and support. Great. Isn't her question good? Because how many of you get stuck in, again, it's another form of resistance. You need to read your book, The War of Art, because the resistance just showing up, but it's coming in a pretty face. Right? Of like, oh, but I'm helping and I'm serving. Meanwhile, I'm like drowning and I almost can't pay my own bills because I'm in the name of service. I can't help many people when I don't know how to keep my light turned on. Just saying. Gerald.
Yeah, so I had a crazy idea. How many of you love crazy ideas? So like for me, reading is one of these things that's been a resolution, right? It's been something I should read more books. I know I should read more books. And I always tend to get like 1 or 2 chapters into a book, and then I find another book to start. And so starting books is no problem for me. Actually, finishing books is a challenge. So anyways, as you say this, like this is a book I really want to read. Just I've heard you mention it many times. And who else feels like that would be a cool book to read? Raise your hand, right? And who else realizes having some accountability would help you actually finish the book? Raise your hand. Right? So I had this idea, what if we created this kind of virtual book club, right? And just test it out and just play with it. For the next 90 days, we set this goal, like, once again, to get your ticket into the 90-day party. This is one of the things. I don't know. And what if we just created a virtual book club where we just got on the phone, like, once a week or once every 2 weeks, we just had a goal, and we just connected and just shared ideas. Just by a show of hands, who would be interested in participating in that? Raise your hand. Okay, awesome. So let's do that. I'll send you the email with that, and once again, just a way to make sure we stay in momentum.
And here's good news. It's a really small book. So it's not lengthy, but it's one of those, it's like the very first, my personal development drug down this path 10, 12 years ago was James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. How many of you have read that book? How many of you know it's short and sweet? Oh, but my gosh, the ideas in there, you read like 3 lines and you're like, whoa, just a second here. Hold on. I got to put this together. It's kind of like that where it's a short and sweet book, but the content you're blown away of like how often resistance is showing up to help distract you and take you off path and that focus, right? But the important thing, what I love about that book is that hopefully one of the key things you get from it is that this awareness that those obstacles are just validation that you're on the right path rather than, oh, maybe it's not meant to be or whatnot and so forth. When you climb a Mount McKinley and there's a huge reward, but you're going to have blisters or challenges or, oh, it's hot or it's this or, it stinks now or it's cold or it's warm or whatever. You've got those things going on. Stephen Pressfield. James Allen. And you can actually find that for free. If you go to asamanthinketh.net, you can download a free e-copy for it. I mean, they'll want your email, but they send good quotes and stuff like that. And you can always unsubscribe if you feel like it's too much.
Steve, S-T-E-V?
Yeah, V. Yep. Stephen Press, P-R-E-S-S, and then Field, like Field of Flowers, F-I-E-L-D. Yeah, he's online right now. It's available all formats. I have a hard copy, get it Kindle, whatnot. I mean, it's Audible. Yep. Huh? The Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. Right. Virtual friends, we'd love for you to chime in and participate as well in this. And so all the details Gerald will send out to you. But in the meantime, get the book so you can start reading it. But isn't it helpful, empowering to know that that's what's at play? So again, for all of you, and not all of you, you know the degree that you played that exercise. And it isn't about a guilt trip. It's just take a freeze frame. The way you play the game's the way you're playing life. That was a huge wake-up call for me because the way I'd played the game when I first heard that, I was like, my gosh, there's a lot of truth to that, of how it was a fascinating exercise and so forth. But it's just being aware of, playing and willing to go for it. But taking action is key. And hopefully you're feeling that way and feeling through this afternoon. There's lots of little actions you can really be taking that will make a big difference. It isn't often about, this massive, huge, there's something missing. It's that usually there's a doing habit that just, if got established, would make a huge difference for your health, for your business, your peace of mind, your sleep, your relationships, you name it. All right. Okay, so what I want to connect around too is that as we wrap up in terms of for this session is around accountability. And this quote comes from a friend of mine, is a great coach and trainer, and this aspect where, accountability, not ability, determines your results. What do you guys think about that? How many of you have had experience of having accountability in your life? Thoughts? Yeah, a lot of you. Does it make a huge difference? Yeah. How come? You can count on it. Why else? What does accountability do different for your life or your results than you just doing this on your own? Builds confidence. What else? Conscious of what you're doing. Right. What else? Yeah, like what Catherine is saying. It's easier to play when you're playing with someone. Someone said over here, it keeps you focused. Back here. Yeah, increases that trust. Yeah.
You have somebody else relying on you to finish it when you might let yourself down, you're not going to let them down.
Yeah, exactly. So accountability in that various format. Anyone else? Any other thoughts about what it's done for you or in your life or results? Has anyone not ever had accountability, like a coach or a partner that way? Anyone not ever tried that out? Yeah, like a business or life coach or health coach even, maybe in the gym. Okay. So it'd be new for you. What were you going to say?
When you have a person that you think you can count on, when you have a person you think you can count on for accountability, and then they like at the last minute say, I can't do that. It just totally makes me mad. It just like you want to count on people and you want to be for them to count on you.
Right.
So that's just a different way to look at it.
Right. Great point. So one of the things, do you want the ultimate success secret? The ultimate.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound so sexy? I almost feel like I can hear Tony Robbins' voice in my ear. The ultimate success secret is, I told you, it's like a personal development party, right? Is how many of you know the color code personality? I'm a red, yellow split, like down the middle. So work hard, play hard. So the yellow comes through the red, and then it's like oh my goodness. So anyway, so you're like, does that mean you're like multiple personalities? Maybe. Somewhat. What was I going to write up here? Oh, the ultimate success secret. How could I forget? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, goodness. I love this. So much fun. Can we all hang out for like 3 more days? Okay, great. If you can learn to master your emotions, you can create anything you want in your life. Master your emotions. This is the ultimate success secret, right? Ooh, we're going to get into it. I think that's a difficult task. Huh? Yeah. Right. It's like, well, yeah, duh. And it's like if I get hello, right, and also make dollars fall from the sky, right? Doesn't it feel that way, like what you were talking about? Is if you can learn, because how many of you have had the experience and what you kind of have like that internal war, like your alarm goes off. And there's that party that's like, get out of bed and go exercise. The other party is like, shut up, I got to bed late, I need some sleep. You don't ever get up and exercise. And you're like, have this tug of war, right? It's really easy to go to the gym or exercise when you feel like it. Again, feelings running the show. But how often do you feel like it? I don't ever feel like it. Well, that's not true. 97% of the time, I don't feel like exercising going to the gym. Yippee, ooh. Like, there are people, don't get me wrong, and I don't have any, judgment about some of you, just love it. And granted, once I'm in the flow of that habit, it's much easier. And I don't have the resistance as much because, again, my new habit is like, ooh, I'm loving this. This feels good. It's fun. But it's like, I don't feel like it. How many of you feel like, or how often do you allow your sales and marketing to be left to your emotions? Well, I'm just not really in the flow or in the zone. I'll make those calls later. Guilty? Do you know what I'm talking about? So guess what? Because most of you are entrepreneurs, self-employed, your feelings have a lot bigger pull on you than like if you work for someone else corporate. I know when I work for my corporate boss, hey boss, I just don't feel like coming in today. I feel like, I'd rather go get a pedicure. Oh, tough, Tiffany, kind of thing. Because when you work for someone else and there's that natural level of, you have accountability built into that relationship. No, if you don't do what you're asked to do and hired to do, you don't get paid. Novel idea. But see, as entrepreneurs, same thing. It's like if we're out there solopreneurs doing most of this by ourselves, and your feelings are running the show most of the time, because see, your feelings run the show all the time, for all of us all the time regardless, but because there's this like created system called a corporate job that you have to go to get your paycheck to pay you for all your food and stuff, you're going to go and do it. Many times when you don't feel like it. But see, when you're an entrepreneur, and you just do it on your own 2 cents, it's like, well, I'll make those calls when I feel like it. I'm not really in the zone. I think I'll go work on my website or my newsletters. Another bright, shiny object type stuff, right? Those are important. But critical to your business is to know what makes me money and to do that first and often. What are your money-making activities? Do those first and often. Yes, work on that website. Yes, work on that brochure or that fun video or the fun stuff. After, almost like that kid, you got to eat your vegetables first. After you've done the things that make you a direct income, like making sales calls or sending an email or something and letting people know about your upcoming event, right? And so mastering your emotions, this is why accountability is even more critical for us creative types. Because without accountability, your bright, shiny object syndrome is through the roof, right? I know I get it because I'm that same person where it's like, oh, I want to create and I want to do and fun and this and well, I'm kind of tired and because no one knows and I just hang out in my PJs all day kind of thing. I do sometimes do that, by the way. Not often, but it does happen. But without accountability in place in our lives, guess what's going to get done? Not nothing. Maybe the easy stuff, sometimes the hard stuff, but it's randomness. And if you're tired of what I call the income roller coaster or random results, well, again, are your behaviors and activities random? Likely they are. So if you want off that income roller coaster as an entrepreneur, there are certain things you need to be doing. Again, chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water to create sales, income, clients. In whatever way that looks like for you. Again, some of you are in product, some of you are service-based, some of you are, a variety of whatever it may look like for you. So accountability, not ability, determines your results. For those of you that have worked with a coach before, any level, a health coach, financial coach, business coach, life coach, we have coaches for everything at this point. Do they make shoe coaches? I would be called an image consultant. Thank you. But in that space, did you get more done than you got done on your own? 100%. So it's the power of that is, do you have it in your life right now? And so that's my question to you is, who's on your support team? And whether that's in the form of an accountability partner, like you did here today, and we're going to have you do tonight, or a mastermind group, or a formal coach. I know many of you are from the Prosperity Tribe, and so you have that support network. It's critical who you're spending time with, right? Because, again, accountability, not ability, determines your results. And I love that because, again, for some of you, you're being tough on yourself. And like, if I just had more willpower. You know what? You're human. And you're going to have different emotions. And mastering them, I don't know if you'll get there. I don't know if I'll get there. So it's, okay, well, do I have accountability or support in place that will help me stay focused and move forward? Does that make sense? Resonate? So I'm going to invite you, for some of you, maybe one of your action items, 5% more, is I need to get an accountability partner. Right? I'm going to give you a couple of tips about structuring an accountability partner relationship if you want one, okay, or if you want the information. I'll just go through it fast. So a couple of things. One is I invite you to commit or connect with an accountability partner and just have a very open, candid conversation up front about expectations from that relationship, and where they're at, where you're at, and what you're looking for. With an accountability partner, I find that it's helpful if you meet frequently, typically by phone. My accountability partner and I, when we went through that process for about 18 months, we met 3 mornings a week. Now, here's the deal. Your accountability partner can also become another distraction of nice chit-chat and lengthy whatever. It's important, I think, to have 15 minutes as an expected amount of time that you're on the phone checking in. And what that looks like, you check into, here's what I'm going to commit to focusing on today or the next 2 days or the next week or so forth. You can do it weekly, you can do it a few times a week. But here's what's up for me, and here's what I commit to getting done. Okay? And then they share, here's what I commit to getting done. When you get back together, you share an update, brief. Yes, I did all these things, not a lot of lengthy. Again, another great tip I'd say is not a lot of lengthy explanation if you didn't do it, but rather than, okay, what's your new commitment? And it's not that it's a supportive situation and you're not each other's necessarily coach, but in terms of, unless you want to be, you might want to push each other a little bit more. But it's asking, okay, so clear expectations in that way of, what they're going to follow through on and so forth, but that you keep that time. So you report back to, did I do it? Yes or no? Either way, what's your next new commitments, and your commitment level to that. A couple other things I think work and are helpful is in that accountability relationship, is to create the space where you can create or maybe have one of those meetings be a little bit lengthier. So let's say you meet Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Maybe Friday it meets a little bit lengthier where you're sharing a little bit more perspective of here's the bigger vision, what I'm after, my goals, or so forth, that you create that together. But having that person, and there's someone here in this room that would be a great person for you, because the fact that they're in this room tells you already a lot, that this is a person committed to their growth and their development, or they wouldn't be in this type of an environment, right? And so think about that over the next day and a couple more hours as you connect with someone as an accountability partner. And that, again, that you support each other in that space. Other ways is, creating a mastermind group, which, typically is 4 or 5 to, 6, 7, 8 people, and that you meet, whether it's once a month or you meet once a week, but that you each, again, you have a allotted amount of time. I meet with a couple of women each week consistently. One's in California, one's in Toronto, and we each have about 15 minutes where we share what's new and good. Here's my wins and victories. Again, we got to celebrate ourselves, right? As well as then moving into, now here's kind of what's up for me or what I'd like some feedback on. Kind of like obviously what you did at lunch today. Here's my 90-day goal. Here's what I'm up to. Any feedback that you would take for me, right? But maybe one of your goals or 5% more things is to find an accountability partner or to look at hiring a coach or to look at creating a mastermind group. But moving forward, the reason why, this is where seminars sometimes the challenge can be, is that you come to this environment. And there's 3 things creating your current level of success as well as your future success. Your mindset, your skill set, and your environments. Now, environments are like what that integrity game we went through today, the various levels, but the people, obviously, like who you're associating with and what's in that space for you. But so in aligning that, like, okay, my mindset, skill set, environments, do I have that support team in place and have that in place? But see, when you come to an environment like this, it's really supportive, right? Like you probably felt more safe here to share what maybe than you would have shared in other places. For some of those of you that are like, wow, this is really uncomfortable for me. And, in that space, because this environment is supportive. It's good. It's nurturing. The challenge for many people is they leave a seminar and they're all excited and jazzed up. Again, emotions are high. So those emotions are feelings, facts. And then you go back to your regular environment, whether there's the clutter or the whatever, maybe a spouse or partner or something. It's just not, and you're like back to being isolated, that individual entrepreneur. So it's whose responsibility to put a support team in place? Right. Because again, as creators, we take responsibility versus as reactors, we blame. And rather than, well, why doesn't my spouse be more supportive or so-and-so or whatnot? It's your job. Create support around you. Does that resonate? So here's what your assignment is tonight. You're going to have an accountability partner. And you get to decide. You can keep the same one that we used on that partnership. Probably that would be easy to keep the same accountability partner that we had before we went to break. And I want you to decide what's one 15-minute action you're going to take before you go to sleep or before you show up here tomorrow morning. And you're going to share that with your accountability partner so it's really clear, really specific, but something that you're going to take action on tonight. But then you're going to report back to that accountability partner related to, in the morning. You're going to try that out. Have that support. Have that team. So get clear. I mean, you don't have to decide in this moment because we still have, I'm going to wrap up with a few things, and then Gerald's going to spend some time, and then we'll break. But the aspect of that you're going to create that and try that out. Now, if that partnership feels good, and again, don't take it on if it's not, then maybe that's someone you want to explore having an accountability partnership moving forward till we see you in 90 days, right? I love that got created. That just so infused me of we are going to be back here as a group. That will be so fun to do. But regardless, or maybe put that intention. Maybe you're not open to that, or maybe it's not what you're looking for, or you already have an accountability partner, or you already have a coach. Okay? So, clear action item, 15 minutes. And that might be organizing a space. That might be whether it's a bedroom or your desk or doing something like that. Might be returning a few calls or emails. Now, again, it's going to be later in the evening, so keep that in mind. Maybe health and exercise, you're really clear, needs to be your top priority. So maybe it's about, 10, 15 minutes of stretching, doing some yoga, or going to the gym, or that you're going to go home and take your different supplements, or whatever it may be. You get to decide what the action item is. And it doesn't have to be 15 minutes. It's just, I don't want you to really do more than that, because I still want you to get good rest, right? I want you to get some good rest and sleep and show up really jazzed and prepared for tomorrow. So accountability partner, you're going to share with them, share what that action item is going to be, and then we're going to be back here in the morning. Now, in the morning, we're also doing a bonus session. I'll let Gerald tell you about that, but just as an awareness that we're going to meet at 8:30, from 8:30 to 9 as a bonus session. He has a fabulous meditation that he's going to walk us through of really setting the stage and the intention for the day. But you don't have to participate in that, and there's no pressure. And then we're back here at 9 o'clock. I'm going to take 5 minutes and share with you a couple of resources that I have in terms of things that may support you in growing your business or growing yourself or what you're up to. So I'm going to be short and sweet about it, and then because I really like to spend all the time in content, so I'm going to let you know about a few things that I offer, and if they resonate with you, then we can explore more either on a break or something like that. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that I've launched about 7 weeks ago called Success Circle. And Success Circle is an online community. It's through my website. My website is thelighthouseprinciples.com. I will write that up there so you can see it in just a moment. But Success Circle is, an online community where each month what we do is we have at least 3 scheduled calls, and if not, we sometimes have up to 5, but a minimum of 3 calls. One of those calls each month is a content call with myself where we get into either a personal development or a business development topic. So everything from sales and marketing to, like yesterday, was how to set yourself up for success, and we went through 5 key things, factors that help you support your success, time and life management, financial, money vibe, law of attraction, and then, again, sales, marketing, all of that world for the entrepreneur, that kind of toolkit. And then we have a guest expert call. One of the things that 3 years ago I got really clear on was that I was going to nourish my network and grow my network, and it's now fabulous in a space where I'm connected to a lot of amazing folks. And some of you may be future guest experts on this space as well. We have a guest expert call come in, and whatever their core thing is that they really teach, and their messages to help improve that is we do a call with a guest expert. And third, we do an open live Q&A coaching call with myself, and you can get some live coaching right on the spot in that space, so you've got that support, and we do that call once a month at least. This month we're going to do it twice for January. Now, all of those calls are recorded, not the coaching calls because I want people to feel really safe with what they share, but all the other content calls are recorded, and they go within Success Circle, again on my website. You have your username and password, you log in. You have your own profile, like a social media place where you can upload a picture and what you do, what you're about. Just like Facebook, you can connect with other friends. So it's this growing success community of people that I have the great pleasure to connect and work with. And within that forum is lots of all these recorded calls and training content and so forth, so you can access that. One of my things for me is that I love working. My dominant focus is that who I work with is entrepreneurs, but I like to create thriving entrepreneurs. It isn't about the money, but it is about creating sustainable income so you can have the peace to create what it is that you really are passionate about. And I know that money isn't all, but if it's not in place, it sure creates a lot of drama. And so the Success Circle, why I created that is I offer private, high-end, one-on-one coaching. But for many entrepreneurs, one of their challenges is cash flow. And so where our climate is going politically in this country, And more people are going to need to have the skills to be self-employed. And so because of that, the Success Circle is very easy to access in terms of financial. It's $19.95 a month, or you can opt in at $147 for a year membership. Those are my introductory rates through March because I've just launched it. If you opt in at the annual membership, it saves you $92 and I think 80 cents in terms of doing the year. But you might want to opt in for 1 month and kind of get a feel for it and see if it resonates with you, but that you have that support and that system in place. That's Success Circle. That's the main thing. And you can go to my website. For those of you that feel drawn to that, I'm going to invite you to take a look at it tonight. You can go to my website, again, the Lighthouse Principles. I can write that down too so it's clear. So it's principles, PLES.com, the lighthouseprinciples.com. And you can see it there. It's a tab up at the top, Success Circle. And if that resonates with you, I want you to opt in and be supported in that way. If it doesn't, it doesn't offend me either. If you want to opt into that, for those of you, I do have a little extra, like something just to sweeten the pot. This is a 90-minute training I've done with a great trainer called Sean Smith. Some of you know Sean from Ignite Your Spark last year. And this is a 90-minute training on how to increase your confidence to increase your results, because we know confidence is at the core, and we talk about what I call the mirror exercise and the daily success regimen of how to nourish that confidence for yourself. One of these, if you can take home or come tomorrow if you've signed up, and one of those for free included. I sell these for $15, so basically your at least 1 month membership's about $5 then. So try that out. The other two things that I just want to let you know of is if you are interested, I've had 3 coaching clients that have completed the end of December that I've got a new one that's starting, but in terms of I've got 3 openings if you're wanting to explore coaching. It couldn't start for about 2 weeks, but we could do a coach consult, and I do that for free. Or I also do VIP days where we block off 6 hours. You come to my home, and we go through intensely your sales and marketing funnel and making sure that everything that you're doing in terms for your business is in alignment. Final thing is coming up February 24th. I'm doing a one-day event. I don't have any flyers. My MacBook is in the Genius Bar being fixed, and so in terms of flyers, plus, let's be economically savvy. But what I'm going to be hosting and creating is an event called the Business of Life Coaching. If you're any form of a life coach, business coach, health coach, I mean, technically, a lot of folks that I also coach are with some network marketing companies too, particularly in helping them, grow that. But if you're in a level of a consulting, coaching type role, I'm going to be sharing the same things that I did for Covey, Kiyosaki, Canfield, and we're going to go through the scripting and all of that piece. But it's a one-day event where we go through all the business side of coaching. That's why I love coaches, any form of them. I love them. If you're, again, even image consulting or so forth, is you have this gift, you'd want to bless all these people's lives, but I know your biggest issue is making money and making cash flow. And that can be easily implemented. Again, chop wood, carry water, chop wood, carry water is how we help you streamline your marketing process. Now, the challenge with that we'll also address is the belief system that's there around sales and around marketing and becoming comfortable with it. So that will be a one-day event. I'll connect with you about that if you're interested. Make sure that you get, on my email list or something like that, or let me know, give me your card, something of that nature. Anyone that's at this event, I would honor a 50% off that you can attend that event for half. Because I know you're already here. You've already paid to be here. I know, so you're already investing funds into your personal development. So that's coming up. So I'll let you know more information about that. Yeah. So it's $97 for the full day. But for you guys, it would be half of that. So whatever that is, $48 or something, 47. Nope, I don't have it here. So you'll just have to let me know that you're interested to come. It will be up on my website within the next, not till probably Wednesday of next week. February 24th. It's a Friday. So we can create just a sign-up sheet for those that are interested,
okay, just so she can follow up with you, because that is a screaming deal for that event. I am like, oh my gosh.
I know Gerald's like, what? Because normally I charge $300 for that event.
Yeah.
And you guys get to come for $50. So again, but it's in that space where you better become ready to learn and ready to grow your business. Okay? I haven't set it up, but it would be probably similar, 9 to 5. It's a full day. Yep, all day event. Nope, that is called the Business of Life Coaching. It's a one-day event. So Success Circle, online program, group community program, $19.95 or $147 for the year. Okay. Secondly is if you're interested in a coaching potential, if you're looking for a coach or help or a VIP day, let me know and we'll explore that. That does something I'd like to do a consult first before we make any commitment. And third is the 24th is the live event. So those are some resources that I want you to be aware of. The rest of my time, I won't be spending time on sharing or quote unquote selling is that that's there. If you want more information, let's talk about it on a break. If it resonates with you about, okay, I know I need more systems to what I'm doing and creating, as well as the combination. Sales is a fascinating combination between mindset and skill set. We're going to address both. Is your self-esteem is driving your sales machine. So we can't just address one part of it. But at the same time, some of you don't have the skill of, well, how do I even navigate? How do I ask for the money? Or what do I do when they ask me about this? Where do I go next? And how do I navigate this piece? But in that space, it's combining both of them. For some of my clients, we just start in on the self-esteem side, right? And before we can even get to sales skills, their sales naturally start going up because we're helping them just get consistent with doing some things that nourish their esteem. And the way you feel about yourself directly impacts how you show up. I didn't always show up the way I show up today. And I still feel like there's more for me, of course. There's never perfect. But I tell you what, this level of red hair on this little body, when I was in the 8th grade, it was and my hair was permed even, so it was bad. But I'm this little stick with boom, hair, it takes a lot to grow into that. And I hated being a redhead, hated it. I don't know if some of you can resonate with something you just did not like about yourself. Now I'm I was really mean to myself, in that space. But the point being is I haven't always held the presence I hold now. And that's come through coaching and training and most importantly, decisions. Is that when you make a decision, right, it's always about commitment. None of you have any other issue than do I have a commitment issue? And sometimes the commitment issue is just, it's more, am I clear? Do I have the clarity that I want? But make a decision to have great self-esteem. Make a decision to like yourself and like your body, the one you're in right now, not the one that someday maybe, hopefully you'll get to. But make a decision to have a thriving business. You made a big decision today. Say, I'm doing this. I'm going for it, right? You've got to make decisions, and then once you've made decisions, it's fascinating how the resources, the people, the tools start showing up. Some of you probably had that experience. Yes, sir. Oh, you were saying, yes, I've had that experience, right? So that gives you, but regardless, so again, tonight, so before, Gerald, I'm going to turn this back over to you because I know you have something that you want to share and hang out with, but I want you, with accountability partner, I want to make sure that's clear and in place, and I'm aware where we're at time-wise, so I want to honor that too. So should we have them first meet with their accountability partners?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is this. How many of you guys have had a good day today? Let me hear some noise. How many of you feel way more clear now about your goals and directions for 2012 than when you began? Let me hear some noise. Awesome. How many of you feel way more committed and confident? Let me hear some noise. Awesome. And how many of you are really excited to come back in 90 days and report on your incredible success? Let me hear some noise. Woo! So this is so fun. And tomorrow, if you thought today was good, tomorrow's going to be so much fun. Because tomorrow we talk about how to simplify your life, how to get the strategies in place so you can actually implement these things. Right? How do you clear out the clutter in your life? We're going to be talking about a lot of productivity strategies that top producers use and having you define what will work in your life. We're going to have you get out your calendar, get out your phone, actually program in and schedule, because this is an important thing to remember. Success doesn't just happen. A successful marriage doesn't just happen. A successful business doesn't just happen. A healthy, fit, energetic body doesn't just happen. Success is created. And it's created by decisions. And success is scheduled.
I just pulled it off.
So by the time you end this event tomorrow, you're going to have your calendar where you're really clear what the steps are. So when it comes Monday morning and you're back in, quote unquote, the real world, that you're not overwhelmed. You don't start getting shut down. You know exactly what your strategy is. So that you actually take the actions and start creating that money, Sandra. So you actually start implementing those health goals that you have, or the relationship goals, whatever they are. So tomorrow morning I'm super excited because as we begin the day at 8:30, I get to share with you one of my favorite systems in my life. And for those of you that have been to some of my events in the past, this is by far my favorite part of doing events. Right? It's just, for me, a really sacred experience as you come in the morning. So be here at 8:30 sharp. We shut the doors at 8:30. So we're going to open the doors and shut them. If you're not here by 8:30, you have to wait outside until we're finished. And then when we're finished, we'll open the doors and you can come back in. Got it? Everyone say got it? Got it. So once again, we begin at 8:30 tomorrow morning. And tonight, come back just ready to play and have some fun. It's going to be super informal, really relaxed. If you want to change clothes and put on something more casual, then that's fine. We're just going to have a lot of fun. So right now, it's just about 6 o'clock, so we're going to give you 90 minutes, right, for dinner. Just spend some time connecting. Before you leave this room, you'll connect with your accountability partner and share with them what is it that they can count on from you before tomorrow morning. What is your commitment? What's that 15-minute action item that if you got it done tonight, it would just be a huge weight off your shoulder? That you could come back tomorrow morning ready to celebrate because you've made a step towards your goal. So what is that item? Get clear on that right now. And then before you leave these doors, connect with someone who can be your accountability partner that you can connect with tomorrow morning and say, yeah, I did it. And this is what it felt like. This is what I did. Got it? Everyone say got it? Got it. All right. So here's a couple reminders. So parking is $4, but you need to tell the parking attendant that you're part of the Best Year Yet event. So just let them know. Otherwise, they will charge you $12, and they would definitely appreciate that. But I think you'd appreciate keeping the money. I don't know. Be a creator. Figure it out. I don't know. I think you only need to pay once.
Yeah.
Just keep your receipt.
I hope I honor that.
But that's a great question. One I just don't know the answer to. All right. So Christy has got a sign-up sheet. Christy has got a sign-up sheet. For those of you that are interested in more information about Tiffany's event, you know that you want to go and you just want to get a follow-up email or a follow-up call, then sign up back there. And you'll be able to mark on there whether you're interested in a consultation about coaching or about a VIP day. So once again, fill that out tonight before you leave, and then Tiffany and her team will follow up with you. Got it? Awesome. All right, perfect. So this is the game. You guys have chosen to come to gain a little more clarity, but the clarity only means anything if you begin taking action. So tonight, just use this exercise of finding an accountability partner and taking that 15-minute challenge as an opportunity to get yourself in momentum and just prove yourself, wow, I can do it. Everyone say, I can do it. Say, I'm a powerful creator.
I'm a powerful creator.
All right, so we will see you back at 7:30, ready to play. You can come back a little bit early. We're going to open the doors, turn up on the music, let down our hair, and have some fun. We'll see you guys soon.
I loved your share.
And I'm just going to throw this out there. If anyone's interested, we're actually going to be heading down to Rumby Island Grill. And if you guys want to come and hang out there, that's a fun place for me. That's down at the gateway.
Okay. That's fine. I know it was last minute. We didn't let anyone know. And not last. He and I talked about doing it, but we didn't let you know.
Also, if you can remember to take all your stuff with you, take all your stuff with you. We're going to be moving the chairs around and kind of changing things up tonight.
Will you take a picture of us behind?
so sad,